Hello, and you are back in the Velvet Room with Jokerthefool. This is our 43rd episode, and today we'll be discussing fat acceptance becoming even more of a death cult and AI facing legal trouble. So let's get into the first topic. Now, I've discussed a lot about fitness and health and nutrition, and a lot of that comes with, I guess, going against the fat acceptance movement, the health at every size movement, the body positive movement, whatever you know it as or want to call it. It's basically a death cult at this point. It's people who want to engage with the unhealthy lifestyle habits of being highly sedentary and addicted to ultra processed food from the grocery store and from fast food restaurants, the drive-through, your Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, KFC, Jack in the Box, Arby's, all that garbage. Taco Bell as well. All that garbage that people love to gorge themselves on, make long lines through the drive-through. It's ingrained in American culture to eat garbage food. And if you're even, from the grocery store, all the, frozen pizzas and, pastas and, minute rice and all these things that you can just chuck in the microwave, shovel down your face. And it's basically no better than fast food. And even if you're doing stuff from scratch, you can make an extremely unhealthy stuff from scratch. Especially considering how broken the food supply is with the factory farming of animals and plants and these sorts of things. Makes, even if you're doing a lot of stuff from scratch, unless you're being really careful about how you're sourcing things, which a lot of people aren't because they don't have the knowledge. They're knowingly kept in the dark by the USDA, by the media, the food pyramid, all these sorts of things that conspire to make the average person basically completely illiterate on the food supply. Even if you're cooking a lot of stuff from scratch, you're sourcing things poorly and you're making stuff that is genuinely unhealthy. Like, you can deep fry your own chicken at home. It's not going to be healthier than KFC. In fact, it could be even worse, right? But that's all one thing. I could rant on and on about how poor the American food supply is, but we're talking about the movement more that pushes food addiction onto people so these food companies can make billions of dollars. A lot of what fat acceptance people will say, one of the big arguments is that weight loss is a multi-billion-dollar industry and the only reason people push fitness is to make money. Well, I could say the same thing about fast food, like the amount of money that fast food makes, and combine that with the the ready-to-made meals, all the poor choices from the grocery store that will fatten you. That's a lot more than the fitness industry, let me tell you that. So that's ridiculous. But there was this TikTok going around of this woman's. One woman says, hey, I decided to start losing weight because I couldn't wipe my own ass anymore. That's when I knew I needed to make a change. And then another woman, in response to that, says, well, it's ableist to have the expectation of being able to wipe your own ass, right? Or if you can't, or to associate becoming so fat that your arms can't reach your behind to properly, wipe and clean yourself, which again, excrement, pooping is part of a normal human function, and if you can't keep yourself clean after doing that, that's indicative of a huge problem. And let me tell you from personal experience, when you get to the point where you cannot clean your own butt, where you cannot wipe yourself, you are in an extreme state of physical deterioration, and a lot of other things are going to go once you hit that point. So you are going to become bedbound. You are going to become completely physically disabled and basically useless physically, which I don't say like you're useless as a person, but physically you can't function. Like you can't move, you can't walk, you can't do these sorts of things, and not being able to efficiently wipe yourself is indicative of that. And saying like, oh well, you can just do some stretches or you can just do this, that is not a proper thing to say. And if the point is like you have to do like yoga stretches or some sort of technique in order to be able to engage in this basic hygienic human function, that's ridiculous, right? If you're doing yoga or something like that to help with weightlifting or just for general health, that's all well and good. I do that. I encourage that. But if you're doing it just to basically be able to function as a human, unless you've been in some sort of severe accident and you're doing corrective physical therapy, ridiculous. But This is the thing where you have this movement, the fan acceptance movement, that has basically built itself around justifying and enabling people's food addictions, their bad habits. I want to be able to sit on the couch and shovel garbage into my face all day instead of looking in the mirror saying I've made poor life choices, and I want to go on the road of engaging with healthy lifestyle habits, knowing that it's going to be a hard, difficult thing to do. But at the end of it, I get health, right? And people will say, well, nobody owes you health. Like, you don't owe me healthy, but don't you owe it to yourself to be healthy? Don't you owe it to your family, to the people that you love, to be the healthiest version of yourself, so you'll be around as long as possible, and you won't be a burden to your family members? Because if you become bedbound or physically disabled and you have people that care about you, then taking care of you in the long term becomes their problem, and you don't want to put that onto other people. So to care about your health, to be to be aware that you can do things for your health, engage with healthy lifestyle habits, and you will be healthier, right? That's the main thing. It's not, oh, I want to try and lose weight, or I want to get this body, so I want to be as healthy as possible. That's the mindset you ought to be in. And then you want to engage with as many healthy lifestyle habits as you can, and you build them up one by one, so that way you build one. It's like, I'm just going to walk X amount of steps a day, and then I'm going to make sure I drink X amount of water per day. Then I'm going to start cooking all my meals for myself. Then I'm going to make sure I'm only eating food that's sourced in a decent way. And you start with these things. You don't go from 0 to 100 instantly. You slowly build this up until it's your lifestyle and you can't see yourself living any other way, and you're living a healthy lifestyle, and then health comes with that naturally. So if you are, let's say, 350 pounds and you should be 150, and you start engaging with healthy lifestyle habits, you are going to hit that 150 pounds, maybe 10, 20 extra pounds of loose skin. That's all okay, all well and good. But that doesn't happen where, like, I have this very specific goal in mind to lose weight. It's, I want to be healthy. You engage with healthy lifestyle habits, and then losing fat kind of happens as a result of that. And that's where a lot of, fitness influencers will sort of lose you. And I can agree, there's a lot of diet culture where it's about, like, losing X amount of weight in X amount of weeks so you can fit in a bikini, or you can fit in that dress, or you can look good for this, social event that's coming up, rather than building a healthy lifestyle. And of course, that's, to get engagement, to get clicks, to get sales for this, fitness program or plan, or diet pill, or supplement, or whatever it is. So there definitely is a lot of scummy, consumeristic, influence in the fitness industry and the health industry and all these sorts of things. And that's not what I'm advocating for. What I'm advocating for is for people to live healthy lifestyles, and the fat acceptance movement flies in the face of that. And it will do that to any extreme, man. They'll do that to the point where saying, well, being able to wipe your own ass is ableist, right? Being able to function as a human without having the burden of, 200, 300, 400 extra pounds of fat, saying, like, that should be the expectation, as to, not have that, to not say that's a result of having glutton yourself, and this is because you have this set point where you're just meant to be 400 pounds or 500 pounds or whatever weight it is, and you can't do anything to possibly be human-sized. It is ridiculous, and it's self-defeating, and it's a complete death cult if you are involved in the fat acceptance movement, body positive movement. I'm not saying fat acceptance movement to say that if you're morbidly obese, instead of saying, hey, I got myself into this situation, or regardless, I'm in this situation, I can get out of it. Instead of saying, well, this is because, society is evil and bigoted, and if we just change society, then all my problems would go away. They're not going to. You still have too much visceral fat. You still have no insulin sensitivity. You still have the weight of gravity pulling you down far more than it should, and that's going to affect your joints. It's going to affect your skin. It's going to affect, like I said, your organs. So many people who are morbidly obese have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease because they're consuming so much fructose that their liver has to process, that it's damaging their liver. And you have all this fat in general that's hormonally active, that's disrupting your endocrine system, and all the other, all these foods that have heavy metals and toxins, and you're not hydrating properly or sleeping properly or doing all these other things that allow your body to purge the toxins that you're exposed to. You're not doing any of that. So you have all these toxins that are stewing inside of you, along with all the excess adipose tissue, and it's degrading your health. For some people, it's very slowly. It'll take a couple of decades to really hit that wall of poor health, and then it's very fast decline. Other people, it happens, but if you are super morbidly obese, you aren't really making it to age 50. And if you do make it past age 50, you are going to basically be in and out of the doctor's office, in and out of the hospital. That's what your life is, and you basically sentence yourself to that. And it's a very unfortunate thing. It is something I want to not encourage at all. But that was a really long rant, a 10-minute rant on one topic. Basically, I think I've never done that. If you stuck with me, please hit like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we're moving on to the next topic. Last topic is AI is facing legal trouble. So we've got this article from Cointelegraph is that the New York Times is taking on OpenAI and Microsoft in a landmark legal battle, which accuses the company of copyright infringement while training AI models. So these AI models, like OpenAI's ChatGPT is the biggest one. The way they generate all the responses is that they get all this information from the internet. So you'll have all these articles, stuff from search engines, and that information will be fed to the AI, and the AI will be able to generate responses based off of that. That's how these AI models work. It's deep learning, it's machine learning, where you're basically giving the AI data sets, and it's generating new data based off of those data sets. And the data sets is being, New York Times articles. And New York Times is saying, well, if the AI is making stuff based off of work from us, then it's copyright infringement, even if it's something newly generated. And that's been the argument, especially with art. You have stuff like DALL-E will pull, from Google Images, and it'll be using stuff that is technically copyrighted, or stuff from other artists, and saying, well, this is a copyright infringement conundrum, an IP conundrum. So you'll have a lot of legal precedents set based on this court case, New York Times versus OpenAI and Microsoft. So it's going to be a very interesting thing to see. So this legal battle with AI is coming. So there is going to be laws made. There is going to be legal documents drafted and decisions made about AI, saying, what is legitimate use of AI, what is illegal use of AI, what is stuff from AI, can it be made intellectual property, can it be copyrighted? And this is going to be it's going to I'd say determine a lot, but I do think a lot of it is going to be a bit of a psyop, where the state is going to try and make the use of AI seem like extremely verboten. But that's me being a bit of a skeptic there. But it's something to follow, because AI is a tool to be used. And you can use that tool for great good. You can use that tool for great evil. You can use that tool to do mundane work. It's just who is using the tool and what the intentions are for, right? You can use a hoe to till a field. You can also use it to whack someone on the back of the head and bury them in that field, right? So it's really how you choose to use the tool rather than the tool itself that's going to be indicative of the effect it has on the other individuals and society by extension. And that's what I want to keep in mind. But the state is going to come in and say, well, people can only use AI in a way that's negative, so it is copyright infringement 100% of the time. It is infringing on intellectual property 100% of the time. And this isn't necessarily how people are using AI. Like I use AI to copy edit my reviews, which you can read on Velvet Room Publishing. They're all copy edited by ChatGPT, where I generate the review, I type it out, and then ChatGPT copy edits it. But the argument here is saying that ChatGPT's ability to copy edit is only given to it by taking from all these articles which are copyright material, and that function inherently is copyright infringement. Like the AI itself is copyright infringement, if I get it right. But this is a whole thing that's going to be developed. A lot of people are going to put time into it. There's AI ethics, and like I said, there's going to be all these legal documents and laws drafted over AI in the coming months, in the coming years, as it gets more of a foothold in the culture, because it's here to stay. And the question isn't whether what to do about AI coming. It's how are we going to deal and regulate with AI. And I do think with that, I am going to leave it there. Hope you enjoyed this one. I will see you on Thursday for the 44th episode of this podcast, and we're going into the outro now. Thank you for being in the Velvet Room with Joker the Fool. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe whether you're listening on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, or Substack, and be sure to subscribe to my Substack, velvetroompublishing.substack.com, to keep up with Machine to Man and all my other projects.